Well, bosses are finding it harder to find finance professionals despite the recent slight increase in unemployment. A third of employers in a new survey of almost 2,000 Australian finance professionals said accountants are in particularly short supply. For more, we are joined now by Kevin Jarvis from Robert Half, which commissioned the research. And Kevin, thanks for your time today. Why
Pleasure.
has it become harder for employees or employers to find the people they need?
Moira, I think in terms of the reasons why it's become harder is a supply more so than a demand issue. People perceive that there's a greater demand today than there was perhaps last year. I'm not sure that's necessarily the case. I think it's actually a case that demand increase post-GFC into 2010 it's been sustained this year, but the supply has not been as good this year because a lot of employees sat tight during the GFC. They didn't have options to move outside of their organisation, so they were in roles for 2, 3, 4 years, and then when the GFC sort of abated in the Australian economy, they then took the opportunity to move as the economic and job prospects brightened last year. So a lot of people came into the market in 2010. A lot of those good candidates have now moved, and there's not as much good supply, unfortunately, available in 2011 versus the similar level of demand.
So in a way, it's just a little bit of a correction, I suppose.
It is, exactly right, yeah. We saw a real rebound in supply last year. Now we're back to more normal supply levels. Yeah,
indeed. Now, your research shows that a third of employers had problems finding skilled accountants this year, up from 1 in 5 last year. Why particularly accountants? Why are they so hard to find?
So when we're talking about accountants there versus the other finance staff that we referred to in the research, we're talking about people that are more hands-on in nature and that are quite often performing the transactional level accounting duties of an accounting department. Just pretty high demand in terms of volume within each company and therefore across the market. And those levels of positions, because they're more lower level in terms of price and value to the company, are in quite high demand. And there's just not sufficient supply, despite the fact that perhaps there's been some offshoring and the like. Unfortunately, there's still not enough good resources out there. In terms of the quality, I guess we should just reference that point. It's in terms of the quality that the clients have been used to. Last year, they can't find the same quality this year just because of that, again, that supply issue.
Because one would think, given the two-speed or patchwork economy, white-collar jobs would in fact be, I suppose, in greater supply.
Yes, well...
Or job seekers, rather. White-collar job seekers would be in greater supply.
Potentially, but I think the two-speed economy, the mining part of the boom, certainly has a knock-on effect to the services sectors within New South Wales, within Victoria, and that's what we've seen in terms of job creation in the last couple of years ourselves. So, I personally believe that the effect on white collars is still just as strong.
Now, looking at the research, it says here that 3/4 of bosses are worried about losing their top financial performers compared to previous years. That's a pretty staggering number.
It is, yeah. 75%. Last year it was 65%, and unfortunately the even worse statistic is that 26% of them are losing sleep over it. So, yeah, there's I guess certain things that they can focus on in terms of retention and a candidate attraction to help them with that and help them not lose sleep.
And given the current recent, or I suppose volatile market situation out there, not just here but globally, what's the outlook for finance professionals generally?
For us, it continues business as usual. A bad or turbulent couple of weeks on the financial markets has had limited effect on our business. We're not seeing any real change. There continues to be job creation in the fields that we're working in, and unfortunately, sufficient supply. So business as usual in the short to medium term is what we're expecting.
Kevin Jarvis from Robert Half, appreciate you coming on. Really good to get you here.
Thank you.